Nearly 32 years of Able, South Carolina. 1994. Founding. The Disability Action Center, or DAC, was formed by South Carolinians with disabilities after the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. Our organization, which would go on to be known as Able, South Carolina, was established as a consumer-controlled center for independent living. We have remained disability-led for over 30 years. 2010s. Investing in youth. In the early 2000s, the organization began to bring programming to South Carolina schools, bridging a gap that had been felt among the community. Services and independent living skills training and pre-employment education. Disabled youth need these programs to thrive after their childhood and schooling years, to be self-sufficient and engaged adult citizens. 2012. DAC is rebranded to Able, South Carolina. Following the 2011 hiring of current Able SC President and CEO, Kimberly Tissot, the organization was rebranded to better match the ongoing mission and values of the community. Able SC was repositioned as a statewide powerhouse for advocacy, expanding its service area and growing its budget and staff to meet the needs of South Carolina. 2012 and onward. Statewide policy influence. Able SC's newfound position of leadership led to influence over policies that impact disabled South Carolinians, partnered with state agencies and legislators to push for accessible transportation reform, inclusive education practices, and employment-first policies, began serving on multiple state and national coalitions, laid groundwork for the future legislative advancements through data collection and storytelling campaigns. 2013. Expansion of youth programs. Youth with disabilities were facing negative feelings about themselves, their disabilities, and their value at an all-time high. Able SC stepped up to bring much-needed disability pride and joy to South Carolina's disabled youth. The EQUIP program launched, giving these youth the opportunity to learn and grow together in a safe and comfortable peer-led environment. 2013. SC Youth Leadership Forum. Able SC, along with partner organizations, launched the South Carolina Youth Leadership Forum, a multi-day leadership retreat on a college campus for youth with disabilities in South Carolina. This year, the event celebrated its 8th forum. 2013. Influence in the Dominican Republic. Able SC leadership worked with members of the Dominican Republic's disability community to help with the creation of their disability rights laws, which successfully passed. 2013. Empower Partnerships for Inclusive Communities. Able SC was invited to be a part of the Empower Partnerships for Inclusive Communities program, sponsored by MIUSA and the U.S. Department of State, meeting with international advocates. 2013 First Fundable Event. Able SC hosts its first ever Fundable fundraiser and awards event. 2014 Launch of Able Access. Able SC launches the Able Access program, a team of experts in accessibility and inclusivity dedicated to providing assessments for businesses, organizations, schools, and more to help them achieve compliance and full inclusion. 2014. Inaugural Advocacy Day for Access and Independence. Able SC forms the South Carolina Access and Independence Network to host a first-of-its-kind Advocacy Day at the SC State House, targeting systems change and legislative action. The network was supported by dozens of organizations. 2014. Able SC hosts Dream Camp. Dream Camp was a 2-day overnight stay for parents and youth, offering tracks to help parents become better supporters and youth become better self-advocates while building disability pride and skills for independence. 2014, created the SC Disability Employment Coalition. This statewide coalition was launched to dismantle disability employment barriers. The coalition was the result of a conversation between Able SC Executive Director Kimberly Tissot and South Carolina's governor at the time, Nikki Haley, and a subsequent meeting with the state's Department of Employment and Workforce Development. 2015, SC's first educator and youth transition conferences. Mapping Your Future and Empowering, of future conferences made their inaugural debut to educate youth and educators on best practices for youth transitioning from childhood to adulthood, secondary education, and employment. 2015, development of the Community Leadership Academy. The Community Leadership Academy, now celebrating 10 years, was developed to educate people with disabilities on how to become effective leaders in their communities, encouraging participation in local councils and boards to ensure that disability is included in every aspect of community life and leadership. 2015, 1,000-Year Flood Advocacy. Able South Carolina worked to advocate for the rights and needs of individuals with disabilities impacted by the 2015 flooding in our state. The team spent days and weeks with FEMA staff, Red Cross volunteers, and individuals staying at emergency shelters, providing guidance on how to ensure the shelters are accessible and distributing canes, incontinence products, and other assistive technology to the residents. In the aftermath, Able SC continued to advocate for those who lost homes and even lives. 2015 onward, Able SC and emergency response. Due to the overwhelming need for a disability-led perspective during times of emergency response in South Carolina, Able SC developed a strategy to remain involved in leading emergency response issues for people with disabilities during storms and other disasters. Able SC has successfully advocated for people with disabilities during every major storm or disaster event since 2015. 2016, Adult Students with Disabilities Educational Rights Consent Act. Under federal law, students eligible for special education services are entitled to a free and appropriate public education between the ages of 3 and 21. When a student turns 18, all parental rights transfer to the student. However, some students with severe disabilities may not be able to participate in their educational process. Thanks to Able SC's advocacy, South Carolina's 2016 Adult Students with Disabilities Educational Rights Consent Act outlines procedures for students who cannot provide consent for their own educational decisions. 2016, First Employer Summit. Able South Carolina introduced the First Employer Summit during National Disability Employment Awareness Month in 2015. The Employer Summit is a one-day conference for business managers, executives, HR professionals, and service providers ready to strengthen our workforce and economy by including people with disabilities. The summit continues annually. 2016, SC Employment First Initiative launches. Employment First aims to ensure that all individuals with disabilities receive minimum wage or higher at a comparable rate to co-workers in a job based on individual talent. Able SC launched the South Carolina chapter of the National Association of People Supporting Employment First. This chapter soon powered the statewide Hire Me SC campaign, a strategy so successful it was replicated across many states. 2016, Able SC recognized as National Leader in Disability Employment for Youth, federal recognition for Able SC's leadership on competitive integrated employment for young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. People with disabilities are right at the heart of our programs. Sandy Jordan, then Director of Employment Programs. 2017, launch of Hire Me SC. Hire Me SC is a campaign that promotes a culture of inclusion across the state of South Carolina, one in which employment for every individual, disability or not, is the norm rather than the exception. Celebrating a decade of changing minds and lives, this campaign's success has led to many changes in SC law and perceptions about hiring people with disabilities. 2017, Transportation Advocacy. Able South Carolina successfully advocated for new and improved accessible buses as part of the Comet's fixed-route bus system. The full fleet was upgraded to ensure accessibility was part of all buses in the system. 2017. Persons with Disabilities. Right to Parent Act becomes law. For years leading up to its passage, ABLE SC worked tirelessly to champion this bill that became law. The SC law prohibits denying custody adoption visitation based solely on disability. South Carolina became one of the first states to codify this protection, becoming a national model. People with disabilities, including physical, visual, intellectual, developmental, hearing, psychiatric, and other disabilities, have the same right to bear and raise children, become foster parents, and adopt a child as any other citizen. The new law also helps to remove the negative perception of what people with disabilities can do. ABLE SC CEO Kimberly Tissot. 2017. South Carolina Supported Decision-Making Project launch. For nearly a decade, ABLE SC has formally championed the concept of supported decision-making for people with disabilities in settings ranging from one-to-one conversations with families considering guardianship, all the way to the legislature. Today, that message continues to be spread as the coalition of supporters across the state grows. 2017. Palmetto ABLE Savings Program. With assistance and leadership from ABLE SC, the state of South Carolina launched the Palmetto ABLE Savings Program. These accounts provide a tax-free savings and investment option for South Carolinians with disabilities without the risk of losing certain federally based benefits such as SSI or Medicaid eligibility. 2018 to 2019, laying the groundwork for Employment First as law. ABLE SC participated in the State Employment First Study Committee to develop a report that helps set the table for later Employment First plus subminimum wage repeal, partnered with legislators and workforce agencies to implement competitive integrated employment and retraining for workers transitioning out of sheltered workshops, elevated South Carolina nationally as an Employment First state leader. 2019, 25th Anniversary Celebrations. In 2019, ABLE SC celebrated 25 years of changing perspectives, empowering independence, and was honored by the City of Columbia with a proclamation for ABLE South Carolina Day. 2019, presenting on Olmstead in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that separating and isolating people with disabilities from the rest of society is against the law under the Americans with Disabilities Act. The landmark case, Olmstead vs. LC, has helped make it possible for many older adults and people with disabilities to live and participate in their communities. In 2019, ABLE SC was invited to present nationally on the 20th anniversary of this decision on the progress and the need to continue to push for compliance by the states. 2020, rapid COVID pivot and statewide student support. ABLE SC rapidly adapted to virtual independent living services, ensuring continuous peer support and advocacy. Co-led statewide efforts to ensure disabled individuals were prioritized in emergency response and vaccine access, directly influencing SCDHEC and DHHS decisions. Served as a national voice for equitable emergency management for people with disabilities. With SC Department of Education, ABLE SC delivered virtual programming for students with disabilities during school closures. 2020 to 21, COVID sanitation kits, deliveries, and meeting our community. The disability community was at risk of getting left behind as the COVID-19 pandemic swept the world. ABLE SC stepped up and provided sanitation kits to our community, delivered packages of supplies, and sought out COVID-19 test kits to supply directly to our community members who needed them. 2020, the burning of Babcock and a disability reckoning. For decades, the Babcock building served as a painful reminder of the ways that people with psychiatric, intellectual, and developmental disabilities were abused, neglected, and segregated from society. The building survived a fire in the fall of 2020, leading to the collapse of the dome known by many. This structural failing led many to mourn the architecture of the facility, but for those with disabilities, it brought up memories of pain and loss. ABLE SC chose the moment to shine a light on the injustices that took place at Bull Street and change perceptions and stereotypes about people with disabilities. 2021 and onward. Development of public health initiatives. The vast needs of the disability community during the COVID-19 pandemic's hardest years led to the creation of public health initiatives at ABLE-SC. Today, ABLE-SC co-leads cross-agency advocacy to improve accessible healthcare, inclusive reproductive rights, and special education compliance in South Carolina. 2021 and onward. SC Disability Vaccine Access Network. The Disability Vaccine Access Network was created to address vaccine access for people with disabilities amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The program expanded to cover flu vaccination and other priority vaccines, keeping people with disabilities, their loved ones, and caretakers healthy. ABLE-SC hosted numerous clinics and impacted thousands of individuals. 2021 and onward. Disability Vaccine Access Opportunities Center. The Disability Vaccine Access Opportunities Center was ABLE-SC's initiative to ensure that other organizations could learn from the knowledge we gained by collaborating with national and local public health organizations. The center provided education and resources to other disability organizations across the nation to ensure people with disabilities are not left behind. 2022. Employment First Act and End of Subminimum Wage signed into law. After many years of grueling advocacy, Employment First and the End of Subminimum Wage in South Carolina were signed into law. ABLE-SC would go on to lead the Subminimum Wage Task Force to ensure all people with disabilities were successfully phased out of the abhorrent practice by August 2024. 2021. The COMET and ABLE-SC debut. 2 mobility programs for seniors and the disabled. With ABLE-SC's innovative thinking, the COMET announced 2 new mobility programs, V-TRIP and PUP, for Midlands residents underserved by the current transit system. These programs expand accessible transportation options for people with disabilities and adults age 65 and older living outside the COMET service area, but within the Columbia urbanized area. 2022. Agribility Partnership. South Carolina's Agribility Project is a partnership between Clemson University, SC State University, and ABLE-SC, supported through the USDA, to make agriculture more accessible and inclusive for people with disabilities while promoting farming as a viable career in the Palmetto State. The program provides education, direct assistance, and resource connections to help farmers with disabilities increase productivity and independence. 2022. Expansion of EQUIP to schools. Nearly a decade since its start, EQUIP, ABLE-SC's premier youth engagement program, was expanded into South Carolina schools through EQUIP Clubs. EQUIP Clubs give schools the opportunity to bring disability-led youth programming to their daily activities. EQUIP Clubs are still expanding. Call us to bring EQUIP to your school at 803-779-5121. 2022. National Recognition for Supported Decision-Making for Youth. The Center on Youth Voice, Youth Choice, CYVYC, selected South Carolina, led by ABLE-SC, as one of 5 new state teams to join its national community of practice, promoting alternatives to guardianship for youth with intellectual and developmental disabilities, IDD. The initiative provides technical assistance and fosters collaboration among states to advance supported decision-making and systemic reform. 2022. Equip, Educate, Advocate. ABLE-SC launches new mission, vision, and values statements. Our mission. We are an organization of people with disabilities leading the charge to equip people with disabilities with tools to foster pride and to direct their own lives, educate the community to challenge stereotypes and eliminate barriers, and advocate for access, equity, and inclusion at the individual, local, state, and national level. Our vision. A South Carolina that is a national model of equity and inclusion for all people with disabilities. 2022. ABLE-SC International Influence. Our expertise has led ABLE-SC to become one of the top disability advocacy groups nationwide. We show other states and federal agencies how to advocate for disability rights, and are called upon to advise other countries in their development of disability rights legislation. We do more than hold the megaphone. We support organizations nationally and internationally as they do the same. 2022. AmeriCorps at ABLE-SC. AmeriCorps programs help communities tackle locally defined challenges by mobilizing America's greatest asset, its citizens. ABLE-SC launched its AmeriCorps program in the fall of 2022, where members focus on direct service to consumers. They help them achieve goals through skill building, peer support, and navigating resources, while also improving lives, strengthening communities, and fostering civic engagement. 2022 to 24. ABLE-SC White House appearances. From 2022 to 2023, ABLE South Carolina was invited to the White House alongside other disability organizations. Why? As people with disabilities, we were chosen to participate in forums about breaking barriers in South Carolina and beyond, celebrations honoring disability rights laws, and to share our expertise with the nation's leaders in an effort to advance our vision. 2023 and onward, ABLE-SC and SC Arts Commission partnership. As part of their ongoing mission to ensure arts and arts experiences are accessible to all, the South Carolina Arts Commission partnered with ABLE South Carolina to provide education and leadership to arts professionals statewide to maximize inclusion in the arts. ABLE-SC has assisted hundreds of individuals in arts spaces to become more inclusive and open to their full communities. 2023, launch of SC Disability Public Health Task Force. The SC Disability Public Health Task Force was founded in 2023 to establish meaningful partnerships within public health and wellness programs to better integrate people with disabilities in all aspects. The goal of the task force is to prevent barriers that people with disabilities face and develop strong partnerships between disability-led organizations and health and wellness organizations that influence public health response. 2024, ABLE-SC 30th Anniversary. ABLE South Carolina celebrated 30 years of generating independence that changes lives in February 2024. The organization was honored with proclamations for ABLE South Carolina Day from both the mayors of Greenville and Columbia, and was honored to receive the key to the city from the City of Columbia. 2024, People, Not Patients. Bull Street History Project, Phase 1. Following the burning of the Babcock Building, ABLE-SC was emboldened to tell the true history of the people harmed by the SC State Hospital. Phase 1 of the digital exhibit with Historic Columbia documents the lives lived by the first patients at Bull Street. Learn more, ablesc.org/history. 2024, launch of Disability Next Door. As part of the statewide Independent Living Council, ABLE-SC launched the Disability Next Door campaign, an initiative to challenge disability stereotypes. We are South Carolinians with disabilities. Disability does not mean a stereotype. We are valuable to our community. We are your neighbors, leaders, mentors, teachers, and business partners. We are change makers. We are Disability Next Door. 2024, 10th Anniversary Advocacy Day. ABLE-SC's 30th anniversary year also marked the 10th anniversary of Advocacy Day for Access and Independence. The event saw a record 50-plus supporting organizations with hundreds in attendance and a clear path that our advocacy has been and continues to be engaging and effective. 2024, National Philanthropic Recognition. ABLE South Carolina beat out hundreds of applicants to receive a $2 million gift from the Yield Giving Open Call. The open call focused on elevating organizations working with people and in places experiencing the greatest need in the United States, and our organization does just that through our mission. 2024, increased employment opportunities in childcare for people with disabilities. ABLE South Carolina's tenacious advocacy and close partnership with the SC Department of Social Services made new employment opportunities possible for people with disabilities. Together, the organizations helped lawmakers develop a bill that would open the doors for many people with disabilities and truly allow an untapped workforce to be recognized and qualified to work in childcare settings. SC recognizes alternative pathways to high school completion, and now our state also recognizes these pathways as worthy of employability. 2024 First Disability Pride Night at Columbia Fireflies. Thanks to an able SC supporter and advocate, Able SC was able to partner with the Columbia Fireflies minor league baseball team to introduce the First Disability Pride Night at their stadium. Not only was the night co-led by Able SC, it also gave Able SC the opportunity to educate the Fireflies on best practices for accessibility and inclusion of our community for this new annual tradition and all games and experiences. 2024 Task Force Leadership and the Final End of Subminimum Wage in SC. Under Able SC's leadership, the state's phase-out of subminimum wage was completed, and all former participants were successfully moved to integrated employment or other community fields. Able SC marked the completion and continues employer engagement to ensure disability inclusion in hiring and retention of the workforce. 2024 Records for StoryCorps and the Library of Congress. Able SC got to step into the recording Airstream with StoryCorps to capture the story of independent living in South Carolina, what it means to be disabled, and have disability pride. The conversation covered ableism, disability justice, equity, and what we hope future generations who find our recording in the Library of Congress can take away from the stories of the past. 2024 Hurricane Helene Emergency Response. Following the tragic landfall of Hurricane Helene across South Carolina's upstate, Able SC mobilized to assist people with disabilities where our help was needed most. Our team took action with SC Emergency Management Division, patrolled shelters, and worked directly with individuals impacted to ensure our community's needs were met. 2024 Continuity of Care Demand. Letter to SC Agencies. Last fall, Able SC sent a demand letter to SC's agencies responsible for ensuring children with disabilities have access to federally mandated services. Able SC urged immediate reforms. South Carolina is failing its disabled children, said Kimberly LaJoie-Tissot, President and CEO of Able SC. These children and youth deserve the care they are entitled to under federal law, but instead, they are forced into institutional settings where their needs go unmet. Our state has the resources and knowledge to do better, and we will not stand by while these rights are ignored. 2024 Co-founding American Disability and Aging Alliance. In an effort to better coordinate national efforts for disability inclusion, Able SC's leadership co-founded the ADAA to unify cross-disability and aging voices. The alliance focuses on protecting Medicaid funding, Medicaid buy-in programs, home and community-based services, long-term services and supports, and early periodic screening, diagnostic, and treatment for children with disabilities. Our mission is to create a unified, bipartisan voice to protect and enhance statutes, funding, and programs critical to the disability and aging communities, ensuring full inclusion in all aspects of American life. 2025 Advocate for Section 504 and Medicaid. Thanks to the mobilization of hundreds of Able SC supporters, Able South Carolina was able to successfully advocate to protect federal disability rights law, Section 504, from a dangerous lawsuit filed by multiple states, including South Carolina. Just weeks later, our supporters were mobilized again to advocate against cuts to Medicaid. While our national advocacy was not as successful as we had hoped, we were a leader in shining a light on the issues that impact people with disabilities and how future cuts to Medicaid will greatly impact our community. 2025 Structural State Reform for Improved Services. Thanks to Able South Carolina's advocacy, Bill S-2 became law, creating the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities and mandating a community integration plan that is aligned with the promise of the 1999 Supreme Court Olmstead decision. This move reorganizes and streamlines services, improves coordination, and makes it easier for people with disabilities to get the assistance they need, while creating a new director of community integration to help expand access to home and community-based services. 2025 Emergency Preparedness Recognition. ABLE-SC was named a NOAA Weather Ready Nation Ambassador, highlighting work on inclusive emergency readiness. The program recognizes organizations that help communities prepare for extreme weather, water, and climate events. ABLE-SC is proud to help people with disabilities stay safe by sharing emergency information, raising awareness, and encouraging action before disasters happen. 2025, launching SC Pathways Project. The SC Pathways Project is a statewide disability-led collaborative, including state agencies, centers for independent living, and partner school districts, addressing the need for better transition resources and programming for students with disabilities. The program supports disabled youth as they progress from high school to adulthood and attain meaningful employment. Whether you are a student, parent, or teacher, you can learn more about it. scpathways.org. 2025, launching Nurseability. ABLE-SC and the University of South Carolina College of Nursing are teaming up to build a more inclusive nursing workforce. People with disabilities make up the largest minority group in the U.S., yet we are severely underrepresented in the healthcare industry. Only 4% of providers identify as a person with a disability. Nurseability will create a supportive pipeline for students and nurses with disabilities, from high school to licensure and beyond, to help them start and grow careers in nursing. 2025, the continuation of People Not Patients. ABLE-SC and Historic Columbia have recently entered Phase 2 of the People Not Patients, Stories of Bull Street, and for former state hospital residents. The project is set for completion in the spring of 2026 and will include collected oral histories from those who survived and are still with us today. 2025, Advocacy Every Day. In 2025, ABLE South Carolina experienced their busiest year yet in the field of advocacy. From testimony appearances to consulting on disability policies at the national level, every day the team experiences a new challenge facing the disability community. Working together, we are pushing for change and holding the line to keep our disability rights intact. To better mobilize our community, ABLE-SC launched a quarterly virtual town hall series to educate others on the issues they face and how to advocate for their needs from the local to national stage. ABLE-SC in the news through the years. ABLE South Carolina has been featured in news media regularly for over 30 years. Pictured are a few examples from 2014 to 2025. Be sure to look throughout the museum room for additional framed examples of ABLE-SC's media dominance and disability coverage, and consider searching for ABLE South Carolina in the news. Today and onward. For nearly 32 years, ABLE-SC has impacted thousands of people with disabilities across South Carolina through our direct skill-building services. We have advocated for change that impacts millions within and outside of our state, and we've reached millions upon millions with our message. While our team may be tenacious and up for the challenge, we can only do this work with your support. Be a part of this movement and help us continue our work for another 30 years and onward. Invest in ABLE-SC today and shape our tomorrow. allable-sc.org